This is Jason the Funky Trumpet. I want to thank you for your support and likes to the channel. This message has been brought to you by artificial intelligence. Yo! Welcome back. My name is Jason the Funky Trumpet. That's an AI message. That is not me talking, but that is me talking. It's crazy, because that's how far we've come in society. Welcome back to my channel. If this is not your first time, welcome to Musical Experience, Timeline, History of the Digital Age. And we do a little bit of everything. We've been breaking down musical showcases, band showcases, a little bit of anything and everything that I could think to throw at somebody, because this is what interests me. History, music, science, technology, engineering, math, and geeking out. The other thing is, we are in a weird time that, I mean time as in, like, this is a digital world. I am class of 1999, and I was there for some of the most pinnacle and, once-in-a-lifetime experiences. So we're going to take a look. We started off with 99, the year I graduated, then we hit 2000, crazy election, crazy stuff. 2001, even crazier stuff happened. Then we started with 2002 a couple weeks ago, and you know what? Let's just keep it going. Let's talk about 2003. Let's see what happened. Oh my God, 22 years, 23, 22, however long years ago. Wow, let's get to it. This is insane. I can't believe that it's been that long. Seems like yesterday. 1990 was 10 years ago, and my son will be 15 this year. He was born in 2010. Somehow the math ain't mathin'. Let's see.
2003, the year that brought the invasion of Iraq, the third Lord of the Rings movie, and the craziest bank heist in human history. The decade that was the 2000s pushed further into the great unknown. 2003 moved us into the war on terror, but also brought us loads of movies and TV shows.
Oh my God, dang. No boat goofing. No boat goofing. No boat goofing.
Sports records, and the passing of several iconic figures.
You believe in Jesus? Yes, I do. Well, you're going to meet him.
We're going to talk about the news, culture, sports, entertainment, and
the Governator. I love that Arnold Schwarzenegger became governor, but could never pronounce California. I love the man. Love what he did. Grew up on his movies. Don't agree with all of his politics, but he is the American dream. Started with nothing, worked his way up.
And all that was weird in the 2000s. This is Timeline.
Let's go. Let's hit it. Let's do it. Yeah. Where were you? Where were you in 2003? I know where I was. I know what I was doing. It's fun. I was mixing records, I was mixing shows, and I was playing trumpet in ska bands.
Get ready for some intense geopolitical maneuvering, because this one is all about 2003. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History channel and let it...
I'm going to keep saying that, because I love Weird History, and they do amazing work. Watch these videos, because I pause and I talk through them. Go subscribe to their channel, watch their stuff. It's awesome.
Let us know in the comments below your favorite 2000s memory.
Rock!
Now, rev up your fully electric engines. This is 2003.
Go Team... Oh.
The year started out with the fear of a big bang as North Korea withdrew from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty.
Yeah.
We have no aggressive intent, no argument with the North Korean people. Yet our resolve in each case will be clear. We will not permit any regime to threaten the freedom and security of the American people.
After detonating nuclear devices and refusing to comply with the International Atomic Energy Agency inspectors, the dictatorship rebelled against calls for atomic de-escalation and officially left the treaty. Guess their favorite Black Eyed Peas song is Boom Boom Pow? Everyone's favorite guy who falsetto yodels It's Only Teenage Wasteland, The Who guitarist Pete Townsend got in some hot water when he was arrested on suspicion of possession of indecent images of minors. After a
Yeah, that's gross. You're not supposed to have pictures of... Don't have pictures of kids.
4-month investigation, the police made a formal declaration that Townsend had not downloaded, created, or distributed any inappropriate images. However, they issued a formal warning to him not to frequent any sites where such material was created due to evidence that he had visited them in 1999.
Everything you do on the internet, everything you do is tracked. So, like, don't take pictures of stuff and put it online. Don't, don't take pictures of stuff and put it online.
My contribution is to take that image that people see, translate it into line, and make them see it the way I see it.
Beloved illustrator and cartoonist Al Hirschfeld died in his sleep at the age of 99. Known for his loopy and expressive drawings, Hirschfeld blazed a new trail in the art of caricature. His drawings appeared everywhere from movie posters to playbills to New York Times articles. On January 26th, Jimmy Kimmel, former host of The Man Show, received his own late night.
Dude, if you would have told me that this would be one of the longest running shows in TV history, talk shows, back then, I wouldn't have believed it. Because Jimmy Kimmel, we knew him from The Man Show. We knew him from being like a typical early 2000s dude. He was a dude. Just a dude. But if you'd have told me this dude would have one of the longest running talk shows in history, I wouldn't believe you. I'd have put money against it. And a lot of people probably, wow, out of words. He has done some crazy awesome things.
Night talk show on ABC, Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Tonight is the last time I'll be welcoming my co-host, Snoop Dogg.
I'm really not good at it, it turns out. At the end of the first show, I was just like, this is not going to work.
Right.
And no one wants to be on my show either.
Super Dave, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Jerry. And I'm going to jump over some shows that are questionable, so maybe your kids will get better
Jerry. He called him Jerry.
programming.
As of August 2024, Kimmel has been on the air for over 20 years and just celebrated the record of being the longest-running late-night host in the history of the genre.
20 years.
See? Told you.
That's crazy. Did you hear that, Guillermo?
Look at that.
The show goes on for 20 years.
Wow, Jimmy, that's amazing.
Wait a minute. Was Guillermo even old enough to drink in 2003?
Probably not, but kitchen staff can drink.
Columbia, Houston, we see your tire pressure messages, and we
If you get that reference, tell me what movie it was in the comments.
did not copy your last.
Oh, God. Yeah, kindergarten, the Challenger, and then college, Columbia.
Tragically, the Space Shuttle Columbia had a disastrous re-entry into Earth's orbit on February 1st, 2003, disintegrating in its descent. The craft shattered, and debris was scattered over large parts of Texas and Louisiana.
We lost the data.
And people went out looking for that, like, people were trying to get pieces of the craft to put on their mantle next to their singing bass fish or whatever it was. This was not a good time in American history.
And that's when we clearly begin to know that we had a bad day.
All 7 astronauts on board were killed instantly. Actor Lana Clarkson was found dead inside the Alhambra, California mansion of iconoclastic record producer Phil Spector on February 3rd. Spector would be brought up on second-degree murder charges and sentenced 19 years to life in prison. Ultimately, Spector died in prison on January 22nd, 2021, from complications related to the coronavirus. He was 81.
The Rona got him. COVID got his... He looks like a serial unaliver. That dude has shuffled people loose the mortal coil.
Rapper Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
The funniest thing, this dude, among the thousands of funny things this dude has ever done, is rent out the first 4 seats of Ja Rule's comeback concert. Oh my God. 50 Cent is not the one. He is funny. He's the type of bully who is funny. I'm ripping that from a comedian named Josh Johnson. Like, he is the type of dude to play a prank on you, and you tell your friends what happened, and your friends are like, yeah, he got you good, man. Sorry. That's 50 Cent.
released his debut album, Get Rich or Die Tryin', on February 6, 2003. Bolstered by an Eminem co-sign and a wild gunshot survival story.
You're a tough guy. Been stabbed?
Twice I've been stabbed.
How's that feel?
Who stabbed you in the studio?
Phil Spector?
How do you feel? That's the dude who we just saw look like the Tales from the Crypt guy. Wow. He got shot 9 times. He got shot 9 times.
No, the Entourage, yeah.
50 Cent's debut would go platinum 20 times over.
I want to thank Vivica Fox for wearing that dress, too.
Boasting smash singles like In Da Club, 21 Questions, and PIMP. Go.
One of my favorite things about In a Club, you can't drop it on the beat. Like, that's how you separate a good DJ from a not good DJ, is if they mix In the Club the right way.
50, It's Your Birthday.
Al-Qaeda has to have planted something on this plane. The armory, they have keys to the armory.
Oh!
They copied the movie. They
the lollipop girl with the
years.
So did setting up 9/11.
Freeze! Get your hands in the air!
One of the largest robberies in history transpired when an Italian gang stole loose diamonds, gold, and jewelry from a Belgian vault in Antwerp the day after Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's a nice red heart for you.
The valuables were said to be worth somewhere north of $100 million.
Boom! That's like 14 games at GameStop.
Thought of now as the heist of the century, the perpetrators were all eventually caught. Some received upwards of a decade in prison, while 3 members of the gang...
Let me guess. It was somebody at McDonald's who snitched on him. Insert cultural reference here.
Only received 5 years. Not too bad for accomplishing something that's century-worthy.
Sanctuary Heights was the last song we worked on. Kind of wanted one more upbeat song.
Well, that raises the question, did they find all the money? Because, I mean, if they had $4 or $5 million stowed away and they only did a couple of years and then they, you know what I'm saying? That's the
album. And we had been working on a cover song that wasn't quite working, readjusted that instrumental, and it turned into Such Great Heights. And then right away we're calling it the hit from the album because it just felt like even more poppy.
Hey, Apple, what is it? Aren't you glad I didn't say Apple again?
Boo! See, this is why I will go back through YouTube and watch commercials from the old school, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, because this was funny. These were awesome. Half the time they made no sense, but they were funny. Or cool. Or in the 90s, just extreme. Is that Jackie Chan?
At the Rhode Island venue...
Don't do that.
...station, during a February 20th performance of the band Great White, a pyrotechnics display was miscalibrated and set the venue on fire. Over 100 people died, and over 300 were severely injured.
It was a really small part of the show. I wish to God we never would have even thought of it.
The Great White store manager who set off the pyrotechnics pled guilty to involuntary manslaughter and served 4 years in prison.
We're going to do something now we're going to do every week on this show. It's called New Rule. No more whining about the French. At least they're standing up to the Bush administration, which is more than I can say for the Democrats.
Will you make believe with me? Charlie, to the neighborhood.
There was a big thing in 2003 about the French, and you can probably still find them in small mom and pop diners around America if you take the back roads. But instead of French fries, for a long time, America literally renamed fries Freedom Fries. I know of one place here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that has Freedom Fries listed on their sign, and it's just a piece of tape that covers up the word French, and it's so funny because it's been there since 2003, and it's faded, and it looks like it needs to be changed, but they're not gonna ever do it because, you know, same old good old boy mentality.
Of make believe.
February 27th was
No.
Sad day in the neighborhood when everyone's favorite kindly children's television show host, Fred Mr. Rogers, passed away from stomach cancer at the age of 74. Rogers was a PBS children's TV show host who promoted love, understanding, and kindness through his multi-decade-long program.
You know, that's how you can tell when you're grown up inside. You're sure that what you're planning and doing are things that can be a real help to you and your neighbor. I'm proud of you, you know that.
We remove our shoes and sweater in honor, sir.
To this very day, I come home and I change my shoes. I have a ridiculous, I actually have cardigans, sweaters just like that. I have Mr. Rogers sweaters. I grew up with that man. Fred Rogers was everything to so many generations. And that man means so much to me still to this very day. My son and I have taken the time to go back and watch some of his older stuff. Highly recommend it. Even for the younger generation, check out Fred Rogers. That man... Fun fact, you couldn't interview him. He was impossible to interview. For the simple fact that he was so nice. That man would pull the Uno reverse card and start asking you questions about yourself, and before you know it, your time is done, and you've told him everything about your life. And then Christmas time comes around, or your birthday, or your mom's birthday, or whatever holiday, and you get a card from him, or you get flowers from him, or you get a call from him, or you get a letter from him. That's what Fred Rogers did. On his off time, he wrote back to his fans. This man started audibly telling his audience when he was feeding his fish, because one blind child wrote in that she was worried about the fish because he never mentioned about feeding the fish. So for the rest of his time on the show, that man went back behind the fish tank and talked through feeding his fish for one person. For one person. I'm getting verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves.
Serbian Prime Minister Zoran Đinđić was killed by organized crime members in Belgrade on March 12th. He was the 6th Prime Minister of Serbia who advocated for more interaction and trade with the Western world. Milorad Ulenik, former commander of the Serbian Police Special Unit, stated that he and mafioso Dusan Spasojević approved the assassination of Đinđić to restore a pro-Slobodan Milošević government to Serbia. When Elizabeth Smart went missing in June of 2002, the country held its collective breath.
Elizabeth, if you're out there, we're doing everything we possibly can to help you.
This was the mystery of the early 2000s. Like, police scanners were like CB radios. Oh, so let me say that. Police scanners in this era were like CB radios in the 70s. Everybody was listening. Everybody was looking. Everybody was trying to help.
Please let her go. Please.
Until March 13th, 2003, almost 9 months after her disappearance. She was discovered in Sandy, Utah, walking with her two captors after various bystanders called the authorities, thinking that this little girl bore a striking resemblance to the missing child they had seen on the news. Smart thinking. Smart's captors, Brian David Mitchell and Wanda Eileen Barzee, were both found guilty of kidnapping and sexual assault. Barzee was sentenced to 15
That guy looked like Rasputin.
years in prison, while Mitchell was given 2.
Tell me that does not look like Rasputin or Charles Manson, or if Rasputin and Manson had a baby.
Life terms.
It is possible to move on after something terrible has happened.
Since being found, Smart has become an advocate and public speaker for people who have been abused, kidnapped, or trafficked. This journey began on March 8, 2006, when she spoke to the U.S. Congress in support of Amber Alerts. A survivor and a hero.
Despite everything, would you say life is good for Elizabeth Smart?
Yes, I would say life is beautiful for Elizabeth Smart.
At this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages.
20-something years. I've forgotten that it started in... God. Friends of mine who just turned 18, just turned 19, just graduated high school, had so much hope in their eyes, signed up, went over, came back, looked completely different. I mean, people I had known since I was in elementary school who didn't look like the person I'd known since elementary school. Same house, same parents, different attitude, different walk, different mentality, and some of them aren't here anymore.
Stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger.
On March 20th, 2003, under President George W. Bush, acting with congressional approval, the U.S. military, along with coalition forces, launched Operation Iraqi Freedom with surprise airstrikes on Iraqi military targets, including Iraq's then-dictator Saddam Hussein's presidential palace. The operation included close to 250,000 American soldiers. Among them, thousands were deployed in search of weapons of mass destruction. Roughly 3 weeks into the invasion,
Which we never found, by the way. Again, for history's sake, gotta say that. We never found them in Iraq. Which, we invaded Iraq because we had buildings knocked down from members of Al-Qaeda who were from not Iraq. It was weird. I don't know what Iraq had to do with it, because we'd gone in the 90s and did this beforehand. This seemed like Bush's I'm gonna finish what my daddy started sort of deal, and it cost us a lot of money and it cost us a lot of time, but more importantly, it cost us people. It cost us people on both sides, on all sides.
U.S.-led coalition forces captured Baghdad. Reportedly, over 2,000 Iraqi soldiers died during the battle. Saddam Hussein's regime fell 2 days later, represented by a now iconic image of a statue falling to the ground. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest athletes of all time, played his last professional basketball game on April 16, 2003, for the Washington Wizards.
Not for long.
Against the Philadelphia 76ers.
It's time. This is the final retirement, and you don't have to worry about me putting on another uniform.
In that game, his stats included 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Jordan retired with 6 NBA championships, 5 MVP awards, 14 All-Star appearances, 2 Olympic gold medals, and 1 Looney Tunes movie.
Let's play some basketball.
We'll let you decide what's the most impressive. On April 21st, iconoclastic singer, pianist, and civil rights activist Nina Simone succumbed to a battle with breast cancer at 70 years old. Simone was a revolutionary figure in the field of jazz and fought for...
And has some of the greatest stories you would ever hear. Go look her up. Do some research on Nina Simone. That woman. Ooh, that woman.
Civil rights alongside friends like Martin Luther King Jr., James Baldwin, and Langston Hughes. Her signature tunes include I Loves You Porgy, I Put a Spell on You, and Feeling Good. On May 1st, 2003, in front of a banner reading Mission Accomplished, U.S. President George W.
I'm sorry. Oh, this, the idea, the arrogance, what is it? The pain in my heart. This was one of the funniest and the most embarrassing at the same time moments.
Bush stood on an aircraft carrier and declared that major combat operations in Iraq have ended.
In the Battle of Iraq, the United States and our allies have prevailed.
The speech provoked some controversy, with several journalists and military members claiming it implied that the war was over. The initial U.S. military presence was drawn down in the following years, and all combat troops were withdrawn by 2011, only to be redeployed to Iraq in 2014. In 2021, President Joe Biden made his announcement of the end of the most recent combat mission in Iraq.
Our role in Iraq to be available to continue to train, to assist, to help. We are not going to be by the end of the year in a combat mission.
Anyone here from New Hampshire? Wow, that sucks.
If you're from New Hampshire, then you know there's a famous rock formation that, viewed from the right angle, looks like the face of an old man. And on May 3rd, 2003, it collapsed.
Is the future of New Hampshire's tourism ruined?
Experts say over centuries of freezing and thawing, the rocks just couldn't hold up to the pressure of their own weight.
It's incredible, but it's awful at the same time. People are really sad. It's like you lost a family member.
We miss you, old man of the mountain. We miss you.
My name is Elise. I'm 20 years old. I am applying to medical school.
To pick and choose between becoming a supermodel or going to med school.
I've actually thought about that, and medical school can be deferred indefinitely, whereas being 20 years old cannot.
On May 22nd,
she's not wrong, but I would do both. I'd do the modeling to go to medical school. You know what I mean? I guess that's what she's doing. But then again, I don't want to go to medical school. I want to make YouTube videos and then make music.
Annika Sorenstam became the
And talk to you guys about the past, because the future doesn't seem too interesting anymore.
first woman to play a PGA Tour start, not the LPGA. Appearing at the Bank of America Colonial, she followed two other female athletes who made PGA starts, Babe Zaharias in 1946 and Shirley Spork in 1952. The crowd cheered her at every hole. However, her presence was not without criticism, most notably golfer Vijay Singh, who commented on the fact that if he was paired with her, he would withdraw, because she doesn't belong out here. Sorenstam was considered one of the best female golfers of all time, and when she retired in 2008, she had won over 96 international professional tournaments.
Damn!
On May 22nd, 2 days later, Sir Paul McCartney performed his first ever concert in Russia for over 100,000 people.
1, 2, 3, 4!
The event was recorded and released in a special titled Paul McCartney in Red Square. The final song he played? Back in the USSR, the infamous Beatles cut that ironically portrayed the Soviet Union as a nostalgic place of surf rock comfort. Talk about biting the hand that feeds you.
Do you know where my dad is?
Honey, your dad's probably back at the pet store.
I speak whale.
A store?
Yeah, you know, like, I'm from Bob's Fish Mart.
At Palace.
eBay.
So, which one is it?
I'm from the ocean.
Ah, the ocean. The ocean!
A dishonest man you can always trust to be dishonest. Honestly. Couldn't resist, mate.
One day after Captain Jack Sparrow sailed the seas, musical sensation Wicked.
Kristen Chenoweth is from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. My son goes to Broken Arrow High School, and most of his concerts are in the Kristen Chenoweth Theater. Kristen Chenoweth is not only one of the sweetest people you'll probably ever have the good fortune to meet, she genuinely is a talented, very, very, very awesome singer, actor, writer, and she does some audiobooks too. But yeah, she's really, really, really talented, and lucky enough to be from the same area that she's in. Just a little bit younger, because yeah. But when she went on Wicked and made her so yeah, she's awesome. It's cool to see that. It's cool to have witnessed it happen in real time.
Opened its premiere curtain, starring Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth. The retelling of the world of Frank L. Baum's Wizard of Oz featured now perennial music theater favorites like Popular, Defying Gravity, and For Good. The play originally opened in San Francisco.
And as of the time of this recording, the movie Wicked Part 1 is in theaters, just coming out of theaters, and is doing really, really well. And no spoilers, because, again, movie's been out for a while. Both Menzel and Chenoweth have cameos in that. So it's cool to see them be on the original bill, be the original stars, and then have the full circle moment to be cameoed in the actual movie. That's cool. That's really, really cool.
at the Curran Theater and would move to the Gershwin Theater in October of 2003 for its Broadway debut.
Panda!
Make the morning time epic. Morning time epic. Morning time epic. R-double-E-S-E-S.
It's the perfect combination of peanut butter and chocolatey flavor. Reese's Puff cereal, part of a complete breakfast.
Remember how everyone used to get super annoying calls from telemarketers, like, constantly?
Do you want to improve your credit score and get out of debt?
Again? Really?
Well, on June 26th, the U.S. government decided to do something about it by establishing the National Do Not Call Registry. The registry aimed to prevent telemarketing companies from contacting private citizens on the list. Almost 750,000 people signed up for this service on the first day, making it one of the more popular things a government has ever done. Tesla is a household name today, but back in 2003, the idea of a mass...
For all the wrong reasons, as of the time of this recording, one he recently blew up in front of a building in New York.
Market practical fully electric car was nearly unthinkable. Nevertheless, Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning went out on a limb and...
Yeah, notice who the founders of Tesla are. Do you see anybody with a weird name like Ilonya? No, you don't. No, those are the dudes who founded Tesla. For historical purposes, we need to show you those are the dudes who founded Tesla Motors. These dudes, Mark and Martin. No, Elon.
Founded Tesla, an electric vehicle company, to accomplish that impossible dream. And somehow, that founding led to Twitter being renamed X. History sure is weird. While staying in Colorado for a surgical procedure, star basketball player Kobe Bryant was arrested for sexual assault on the 4th of July, 2003. A 19-year-old hotel employee accused Bryant of assaulting her at the hotel, with bruises on her neck to boot. After the police questioned Bryant, he had admitted to having sex with the individual, but insisted it was consensual.
I'm so sorry for having to put you through this and having to put our family through this.
The case was eventually dismissed due to the woman in question not wanting to publicly testify.
For this reason, and this reason only, I am dismissing this case.
However, a civil case was eventually brought and settled for an undisclosed sum. That same day, iconic R&B singer Barry White died at age 58 from complications of diabetes and high blood pressure. Known for his smooth bass voice, White croons sultry cuts like "Can't Get Enough of Your Love, Babe," "You're the First, the Last, My Everything," and "Never, Never Gonna Give You Up." Sorry, Panic at the Disco. Barry White was doing long-ass song titles before you were even born.
I would kill for that voice.
On July 14th,
Who wouldn't?
2003, journalist Robert Novak published a Washington Post column called Mission to Niger. In this piece, he outed Valerie Plame as an undercover CIA agent, something you would think no one should be able to find out or publish. The ensuing media scandal ensnared Plame's husband, former diplomat Joseph C. Wilson, who 1 year earlier had published his own bombshell column in the New York Times, stating that President George W. Bush's accusation that Saddam Hussein bought uranium from Africa was inaccurate, an assertion he made after being sent on the investigatory assignment under recommendation from Plame herself. Ultimately, Deputy Secretary of State Richard Armitage confessed to leaking Plame's identity to Novak. While he insisted it was inadvertent, some commentators believed it was an obvious retribution to Wilson's article. The scandal led to a criminal investigation, with Vice President Dick Cheney's Chief of Staff, Scooter Libby, found guilty of 4 counts of criminal obstruction. Government officials, they have weird office squabbles just like us.
So every day for the past 25 years, we've been testing and torturing things like door hinges and hood locks. Whether cars
That was a sad day. That really was.
goes through so much for so little.
On July 30th, Volkswagen produced the final Type 1 of their iconic Beetle, the compact car with the instantly recognizable design that made you slug your sibling on road trips. Ultimately, Volkswagen had produced over 21 million Beetles, the most of any car from a single platform. Ever wanted to rank your top 8 friends? Ever thought about having a homie named Tom? Well,
yes, and I think about that. That's my Roman Empire. What is it? My spool wire. This is what I contemplate on a weekly basis of how nice we had it and gave it all up for other more addictive applications. MySpace was awesome. Don't at me. I don't care what you're going to say. MySpace was awesome.
August 1st, thanks to this nifty new thing called MySpace, you could. Co-founded by several employees of tech company eUniverse, including the aforementioned Tom Anderson, who came as a friend to every user, MySpace was the first widespread social media network and became the largest one in the world from 2005 through 2009. 13 days later, users on the Northeast trying to access their MySpace were stymied by the 2003 blackout, which left more than 50 million people across the US and Canada without electricity.
We're coming past West 4th Street and the power just went out.
Creepy. I'm getting a flashback from September 11th. I don't like this.
It lasted about 8 hours before being restored. The reason? A software bug in the alarm system in the control room of First Energy. Thankfully, it was rectified quickly and power was restored.
What movie could possibly be worth driving 260 miles round trip for?
It's a new film called Revenge of the Nerds.
So what you're saying is you identify with those nerds?
Yes, I consider myself a nerd.
Star of 5 Death Wish films, Once Upon a Time in the West, The Mechanic, and countless other tough guy films, Charles Bronson died on August 20th, 2003 of a combination of pneumonia and Alzheimer's disease. He was 81 years old.
We heard shots. What happened?
I sent them a message.
The Man in Black himself, influential country superstar Johnny Cash, died on September 12th from complications of diabetes. He was 71. His careers...
That man lived a life. And he left us with some awesome songs, but his cover of "Hurt" by 9 Inch Nails, he owned that. He owns that song now. He does. Check out his grandson, Thomas. I want to say Thomas Gabriel. Sounds exactly like him.
Spanned decades, featuring iconic tunes like Folsom Prison Blues, I Walk the Line, Ring of Fire, A Boy Named Sue, and a late period cover of 9 Inch Nails' Hurt.
For relaxing times, make it Suntory time.
君の瞳に乾杯. Suntory time.
He wants you to turn, look in camera. Okay?
That's all he said?
On September 14th, against the Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens running back Jamal Lewis set the NFL single-game rushing record.
Heavy on the carbs. Touchdown!
Lewis ran over 295 yards and scored 2 touchdowns on 20 carries. Thanks in part to this history-making performance, the Ravens scored a 33-13 victory over the Browns.
I guess you could stay here. I'll see you when you get here.
Oh, is she staying over? Because I may have parked behind her.
Son of a biscuit-eating...
You lit liquor!
Bulldog.
What the French, Toast?
Did you think I wouldn't find out about your little doo-doo head cootie queen?
Who are you calling a cootie queen, you lint liquor?
Pickle you, kumquat!
You're overreacting.
No, Bill, overreacting was when I put your convertible into a wood chipper. Stinky McStink face!
Fabulous. New Orbit Raspberry Mint cleans another dirty mouth. For a good clean feeling, no matter what.
Siegfried Fischbacher and Roy Horn might be well known for training tigers and performing magic tricks, but they might be equally well known for a tragic mishap during an October 3rd live performance, where a tiger called Manticore attacked Roy and almost killed him.
It kind of nipped at his hand. He smacked at it.
But Roy suffered no ill will toward the cat. In fact, en route to the hospital, he was quoted as saying, "Make sure no harm comes to Manticore." With friendly cats like those...
He said, "Please, that thing was trying to save my life." No, that tiger was trying to eat you.
On October 7th, Gray Davis became the first governor of California and second governor in the history of the U.S.
California.
To be recalled. The special election was triggered in July by the collection of 1.3...
Dude, everybody was in that election. Gary Coleman was in that election. Friggin' Harambe, rest in peace, was in that election. Pee Wee Herman, I think Doogie Howser, I believe Loki ran in that election. It was crazy.
3 million signatures demanding a recall. A cavalcade of hopefuls campaigned for 3 months, and the official ballot had 135 candidates to choose from. And the winner from this fracas? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I've heard your voices loud and clear. We have tough choices ahead.
The Terminator.
Don't be economic girly man. He really did. He really did use like all these old movie slogans. I'm going to pump you up, and we're going to bump the economy up.
Became the Governator and did a decent enough
The Governator
job to win re-election. He
did.
served as California governor until 2011.
Come on.
This apparently this is the movie that they were talking about in Pulp Fiction. And if you break it down, this is Fox Force 5.
Mommy, I'm home. Hey, baby. How was school?
Ooh, Steve, it's coming right at us. Grab it. I don't want to get in the way. It's a foul ball. What harm can it do?
1 week later, baseball fan Steve Bartman deflected the ball away from Chicago Cubs out.
Of course, his name is Bart Mann. You couldn't make that up. You couldn't write it and have it be any funnier.
Outfielder
or sadder.
Moises Alou, leading to a very Chicago Cubs chain of events. With the Cubs leading 3-0 in the 8th inning of Game 6 of the National League Championship Series, the Florida Marlins hit a fly ball, and Bartman reached out and interfered with the play, turning a potential out into a home run.
That's awfully close to fan interference right there.
After the shocking turn of events, the Cubs allowed 8 runs in a single inning and went on to lose the series.
It's okay. They went on to win the series the year after Back to the Future 2 predicted it.
In the future, please do not do the Bartman.
No, that guy, oh, he took so much crap online.
This is Michael's mother. Look what they've done, Michael.
One of the greatest shows ever, made by the Russo brothers, thank you very much.
He isn't happy.
Look what the homosexuals have done to me.
You can't just calm that out and reset it?
Currently, she's upset that her husband's retirement party is being upstaged by a group of gay protesters.
On November 18th, the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court ruled that the state's ban on same-sex marriages was unconstitutional.
In the end, it was 151 to 45, so it was a comfortable margin, and I'm very happy to end it that way. And for all those people out there who would have lost their rights, congratulations.
In their majority opinions.
Honestly, why is this even a thing anymore? Let people love who they want to love. Half of all marriages end in divorce anyway. Why don't we let everybody just love who you want to love? Like, I got a kid. I was married. Wasn't the best marriage. But, I don't know. I'm open to love. I'm just, I don't care if somebody loves another guy, girl. Just don't love a dog or a tree or something like that. That's gross.
Stated, the marriage ban works deep and scarring hardship on a very real segment of the community for no rational reason.
We're best friends since we're 2. That's like kissing your sister.
So?
You guys kiss on the lips.
No. So?
You give him a kiss on the lips, I'll give you a kiss on the lips.
All right.
On December 5th, Coldplay frontman Chris Martin and actor Gwyneth Paltrow married in Santa Barbara, California. The couple had 2 children together, Apple and Moses, and were divorced in 2016 after a much-publicized conscious uncoupling. And on December 13th, as a result...
Yo! Whoa! Okay, before we go, what is a conscious uncoupling? What is that? What? Put in the comments if you know what that is.
Of Operation
Wow, that's a face.
Red Dawn, the U.S. military finally located Saddam Hussein in
The hidey hole.
town of Adwar, Iraq. He was discovered hiding in a spider hole, and his woozy, disheveled, bearded visage became an instantly striking, iconic image. And that's how 2003 ended. 2004 was right around the corner, bringing with it more global conflict and more iconic pop culture.
Oh!
But that's all for next year. Coming soon, 2004.
That's so fetch. Oh my god. 2003. Wow, what a memory. Wow. 03 was insane. It was fun. Lots of fun times. But yeah,
I'd forgotten some of those things happened. It's kind of nice to go back and be like, yeah, all that did happen, and some of that was crazy, and it just got crazier. MySpace, I'll die on this hill. We had it made with MySpace, and then gave it all up like the next 2 years for some boring, hacky application that takes your time. YouTube is fun. This, at least you learn stuff. But, I don't think YouTube was created until 2005-ish, so when we get there, we'll get there. With that being said, guys, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so when I drop a video, you see it, and we'll see you next time. Peace.